This conference will now be recorded.
I'm audible now. Okay. Thank you. So let me start. So first of all, we'll go for how to set up an HTTP server. And then we'll slowly move to Selinux. Since Selinux involves HTTP, and that's the reason I'm just going to explain a little bit here. So there is a package name comes with HTTP, which has already been installed. If it's not installed, you can install. You know the command how to do that. And then you can see if service is running or not. It's running. And then, so how we can access IP space A? We can give the IP of this system 192.168.101.10. So this page is a kind of like testing page, which is coming from etc httpd/conf.d/welcome.conf. If you want, we can keep our website in var www.html. So let us keep some file and see whether it's coming or not. Let me see if it's that coming. You can see that I've created a file in the var www.html index.html, and As soon as I've written the test, that file, and I've refreshed it, it's started showing, hi, this is a test web page. That's what I've written. So you can create your own web page here, and accordingly, you can host your website. So basically, the config file for HTTPD is here. No, not this one. Yeah, this is the file httpd.conf, and here you can see that server root is a file where your root directory is found of the server, and here port 80 means like it's listening on port 80. So what is the meaning of port 80 here? This is access through HTTP only, and port 80 is this one. If I do port 80, it's going to give me the same. If I give port 443, it means it's still searching. It has not came to any result. So it's searching on the same website. It's searching on HTTPS. So currently it's using port 80. Sorry. How we can see that it's listening on port 80 or not? We can go here. We can check netstat localhost. Netstat or nmap, I think. Nmap localhost, which is going to showcase all the open ports. So we can see that HTTP TCP it's open for HTTP, and whether it's listening on port 80 or not, you can see from here. One more command -l and which should show here like this. For TCP IPv6, it's listening. There should be TCP HTTPD. Okay, fine, no problem. But it's listening on port 80 and it's listen status listen. So this is another way to identify that your ports are listening, and it's open from. You can see that, but we make sure that I have done nmap and that particular IP localhost from inside itself. So if you run this from outside, this may vary. Outside means let's see from another server. Let's wait for this server to come up. Another server with GY. What is the IP for this? 192.168.101.10. So this output, whatever we have seen here, this may vary. The reason is this is scanning. Nmap is an utility which scans all your port, and it shows the open port, or it shows the ports and the state if it's open or closed. So that's one thing. So here we are sitting inside the system and checking out. So it will be shown all the ports and the open and closed port. Now if I'm going to access from outside, that means from another system. So whatever ports are open from outside, it's going to show me. So when I'm setting a system, all ports will be open for it. There will not be any firewall restrictions. But yes, if I'm trying to access from outside, there can be a firewall restrictions which may restrict. So let me see. Hmm. You can see that from outside, only FTP, SSH, and HTTP are open. It means port 80, 21, 22 from the outside world. And here you can see that more. SMTP is also open. RPC bind is also open. So which is not accessible from the outside. So what is the difference? Why I have given localhost here while running on the same system, and why I have not given the localhost here from the another system. The difference here is localhost is again a host name of the same system, and which is mapped to its own IP address. Let me see here. Let me show you here. Hmm. So when I do localhost, it's going to bind with this IP 127.0.0.1, and 127.0.0.1 is a local IP which has been assigned to its own system. Every system will have that. Cat etc hosts. You can see that this system will also have the local host and IP assigned to it. If you do ping localhost, you will get always, even though if you don't have network, you'll get the ping to localhost. So the localhost means 127.0.0.1, and which is your local system only. So from sitting in this system, if I wanted to do something, I'll do either localhost, I can ping either 127.0.0.1, or I can give the IP also. All three things are the same by sitting in this system. But if I wanted to access this from another server, then definitely another server or system, then definitely I need to mention the explicitly IP of this system. So this is about HTTP, and let me go if I can show you some more thing in http.conf, and there will be a website where www. There are several modules which you can enable through the conf file conf.module.d, and here we will not explain anything about the modules. If you are going to host any website on your own, then probably you might need this. Yeah, document root, you can see that via www.html. This is the document root. Suppose if you want to change this direct root, that document root, then you can change and you can host your website at some other place. So this is another piece of information I wanted to show you, and nothing much here. Application compass, you should take it out. Okay, so we will see now.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, if document root change, then we have to
Hmm?
set the Selinux permission as well as.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
We will see the difference now. The thought I was about to explain now. So we can see the Selinux permission by SE status. We have seen that it's enabled and it's enforced. That is what we wanted. We don't want to disable it, and we don't want if you want to see how to change, you can see that current mode seems to be permissive. Previously it was enforcing because we have disabled the Selinux. So I mean, we have disabled means we have enforcing set to 1, and now we have enforcing set to, previously it was set to 0, and now we have set it to 1, and now it's showing at enforced. This is what we have been talking about yesterday. When we do ls-l, it just gives us the file and the supporting information. But when we give -capital Z along with -l, it's going to give us the context as well. So how we are going to define a context? Context is a collection of security related information assigned on each object. So object can be here file, directory, or application, or it can be port as well. So whatever the security is assigned to that particular object, file, directory, or port, that is meaning of your context. So you can see that when I have run ps space aux, if I'm going to run, it's going to give me just only the running process and related information, the user, the ID number, and this is what I don't remember. Which flag is this? Okay, CPU and percentage memory, yeah, and this is the virtual memory, resident memory. This is running on which TTY status, and the start time. I mean, where it started, this is the start time, and what is the command it's running under. So these are all information has been shown by ps space aux. But when we give ps space capital Z aux, it's going to give us the context information as well. You can see that this is the context information for that particular process. So let's come to our practical with Selinux in the context of our HTTPT or our website, whatever we have been running here. So I will remove Okay, let me give example like this. rm hyphen rl var www.html index.html. Now we can see that we don't have anything. We don't have anything here. So now just write down something. Currently we are in our root. We are test1.html. This is test1 file. Now we have test2.html. This is test2 file. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to copy this test1 www.html and I'm going to move this test2 in www.html. So I've done two things. I've copied one file test1 and I've moved test2 file. So you can see that the permission here www.html. Okay, we'll see the context later. Let's try to access this file. So let's try to access this file over here. Slash test1.html. You are able to see that test1 file. When I'm going to run test2.html, you can see that you don't have permission to access test2.html on this server. Since I have done both the things, I have normally written a text in both the files test1 and test2, but I'm able to access test1 but not test2. The reason is the difference. You can identify that I have copied test1 file from one directory to another directory, but I have moved the test2 file from one directory to another directory. So while copying and moving, the difference you will be able to identify here. Test1 is owned by httpd syscontent and test2 is admin home_p. So as soon as we do have a permission of httpd syscontent, then only this is going to be get accessible. If anybody else is going to do something here with any another user permissions, then probably you will not get that. You will not be able to do anything, or that will not be accessed through httpd. So now how to modify that? There is a command for modifying the context. Chcon is the command. This is the command. So let's open the manual page of this. What it says is change file Selinux security context. So we wanted to change the security context of any file, and for that purpose we are going to use this chcon command. Capital R is going to give us recursive changes to all the directories. -v is verbose. We can see that what information or what it's doing. It's going to give us more information. These are two usual, and -u is setting a user context. -r is setting the role context, and -t is type context. Okay. When you see that system underscore u, it means it's a user part, or it's a user context, I can say that. When you see hyphen underscore r, sorry, yeah, underscore r, it means like it's a role context. And if you see this is underscore t, it's a type context. So role context is second part of security context level, whatever we are seeing right now here. And role is here, it's a subject, and which demands the process or this file, whatever we are trying to access, it has to set for that. So object R has to be set for HTTPD to access this file. Here we can see that it's already been set, and the same thing has to be done for the type part also. Like we are required to set the type for this file as a context, rather from admin underscore home underscore t to httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. So that should be the type part for this. And let's start changing the type part. Let me give a try. httpd underscore sys content underscore t space test 2.html. This type maybe. Yep, it has been changed. Now let's see. It seems to be the same. The type context. And let me refresh this page. You can see that we are able to see the content of the testing2 file as well after changing the type context. So this is the one command, and there is another command restore con. We can see that restore file default context security. So let's say if you do have any file and if you want to restore its context, you can use this for that purpose. So we are let's say if we are changing any directory from where www slash HTML to any another file, let's say slash opt slash www slash HTML, then we are required to add the same context for those folders as well to get it to get your website accessible on the internet. So how we can do that? You're required to change at some places. The some places are this one, document root. Here you're required to change your folder name, and after that you are required to change here as well, slash bash slash www. The section also you are required to change the same thing and post that. Which are all places you do see where www was written, you just go ahead and modify that, modify all the things. And after modifying, you are required to restart the service. System ctl restart httpd. And after restarting, what are all things you have changed? What are all changes you have made? It's going to acquire those things or those folder through this configuration file. So let's say you have given a folder as your document root as OPT. So if you are going to keep anything into OPT, any configuration file or any HTML file, that HTML file will be get visible. But before getting visible, you are required to change the context of that as well. Current context of root is this. You can see that. OPT is this. Let me create a folder www. Now you can see that the context of www is this object or user underscore t. So for changing the context, I need to change all the context here. That's not a suspect. SE manager itself is not here. Okay, let me change this file context by using this method itself. opt www. I need -r as well. -r should be recursive, I believe. Okay, let me see. -r is small r. Okay, for capital R, I need to be. You can see that the context has been changed here. https content.s0. So if you keep any file here and if you do change the document root and keep any file here in this directory, and you can change your website home directory. I mean, you can host your website at this place as well, rather than hosting it from where www.html. So this is it in terms of in terms of Selinux here. There are several other topics as well in Selinux which we will not be covering in this context. Several other topics is like context in terms of networking, or context changing the context for the ports, like all those things, which is less likely required, or which is less likely needed, I can say. That's the reason here. So the basic thing is like changing the file context when you are going to access that particular file with any services, which is most likely you will be using it for any purpose. Anybody has any doubt here in this topic?
Hello, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, if you need to change the port of HTTPD, then as well as we have to change the security context.
Port
It is required.
security context. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, but still I need to check because I haven't done that yet.
Okay, sir.
Simply for changing or running a service on a different port, simply changing the port is enough. Should be enough, but I'm not sure if it's still asking for a security change or more than that. But after changing the port, we are required to add into firewall as well, so that we should be able to access that particular port throughout the firewall. I mean, outside of the server, you should be able to access. So for that, you have to open the port in your firewall as well. Here, port means rather file. I will say that security context is going to be with the process, I believe, not with the file, because file is going to be binded with the process, and which a process or a user, I can say. When I say a process, HTTPD is a process here which is running, and HTTPD has been binded with a HTTPD user, which only SLinux can log in. And when it creates anything, or let's say we have changed, and when we process that, but when we let's say we have changed the folder from var www.html to /opt/www, and when we restart the services, it's going to mount, or it's going to grab those files with the set of HTTPD users. But yes, and as we are going to mention the port for that, let's say 82 port for that, it's going to enable that those particular folders to be get mounted for 82 port. But yes, we will not be able to access because we don't have the type context enabled there, which we are required to enable, but not the port context. I hope I'm able to reply at some extent. You can get to know more about it if you just do some practical on it. And let me stop the recording here.